Around Town is brought to you by Eastern North Carolina Medical Group. Good health is music to our ears. With office locations at 1041 Noel Lane, Suite 105 in Rocky Mount, 10589 East NC Highway 97 in Joiners Crossing Shopping Center in Rocky Mount, 155 Nashville Commons Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center Plaza in Nashville, North Carolina, 1812 Glendale Avenue, Suite B in Wilson, North Carolina, 903 North Arundel Drive in Zebulon, North Carolina, as well as the ENCMG Lewisburg Oncology Clinic at 216 North Beckett Boulevard, Suite 5 in Lewisburg, North Carolina. Log on to encmg.com today to locate the office nearest you.
Welcome to Around Town. It is a real honor today for us to be celebrating the wonderful civil servant, Charles Penny, city manager, who served us well for 23 years. And Charles, you told me to call you Charles instead of city manager Penny.
Right.
But we've got a lot to celebrate. But before you go, it's very important to us, and I think to everyone watching, to kind of hear the challenges, hear about the high points. And you spoke at Rotary yesterday, and I think everybody went out of there saying, wow, we got a lot of great things happening. So stay tuned, because we're going to be talking about a lot of the really wonderful signs that we're seeing that Rocky Mount's just getting bigger and better and bringing in more jobs and more people all the time. But how about starting with your background? When you went to undergrad at North Carolina Central and then got a Master's of Public Administration at UNC Chapel Hill.
Right.
And then what happened?
From first, and thank you for interviewing me,
Sure.
give a chance to talk about my experience in Rocky Mount. After grad school at UNC Chapel Hill, my first job was in Morganton, North Carolina. I was assistant to the city manager. Was there 4 years. Then I went to Kinston, North Carolina, and I was there for 19 months. And then my former boss that was in Morganton became the city manager of Asheville, and he asked me to come to Asheville as assistant city manager. So I was in Asheville for 7 years before I came to Rocky Mount. I came to Rocky Mount in 1994, recognizing that Mr. Batchelor was going to be retiring and Steve was going to become city manager. So I came in as Director of Planning and Development for a 9-month period, and then I was promoted to Assistant City Manager, and I served in that position from 1995 until 2011 when I became City Manager.
Share with everybody what you said about Bill Batchelor. When you came here, he was kind of larger than life, wasn't he?
Well, in my profession, coming into the City County Management Association and across North Carolina, Mr. Batchelor was thought of as the best city manager in the state of North Carolina.
Wow.
And when I would go to the meetings as a youngster in 1981-82, had a chance to meet Mr. Batchelor, to talk with him, and so to come and work in this organization, because he's the one that called me and asked me if I would come to Rocky Mount. Was a real honor for me because of just his reputation in the state.
And the history for us of having Mayor Fred Turnage and Bill Batchelor were quite strong, talented, as we've had since. But
Well,
he was kind of a legend.
Well, Mayor Turnage, I had seen Mayor Turnage when I would go to the league meetings. Never really had a chance to get real close to him, to get to know him, but then to come to Rocky Mount and actually get to talk with them and became very close to him. I appreciated just his character and his family and just the great person that he was. And so that did mean a lot. It was Mayor Turnage, and there was a gentleman from Scotland Neck by the name of Ferd Harrison.
Right.
And they were like leaders in the state and in the North Carolina League meetings, in the League of Municipalities. So there's a lot of history there. And as I'm sitting here talking to you, in fact, on Friday when we're celebrating my retirement, we will also be retiring and celebrating in Chapel Hill the 50th anniversary of the MPA program.
Oh, wonderful.
And so I'm retiring after 35 years, and so when I went into that program, it was only 15 years old, so there's a lot of history, so I might start to feel like an antique here as we think about
that.
it.
We'll put you to work doing something else.
Yeah.
This is just your first retirement, right?
Well, and I'm going to change that because my pastor said sometimes you just have to call a timeout. And so I'm going to look at this change in my career as a timeout for me.
Okay.
It was the realization of a dream, though, a career goal of yours when you were appointed the city manager here, wasn't it?
Yeah, my goal after serving in local government, I'd always said that I wanted to be a city manager. And at the time that I became city manager, I could actually retire. And so I'm very happy the mayor and members of the city council chose me so that I could do it here. But I'd said if I wasn't chosen, then I would retire and I would look to Virginia or South Carolina to try to have an opportunity to become a city manager. But fortunately, I got to do it in Rocky Mount.
Absolutely. We'll talk about your
A
family.
little bit.
Okay.
Your two kids, you were very complimentary in your last article in the newspaper about the community of support that Eva and Chaz had, and growing up here, and you have to be so proud of them. Tell everybody what they're doing, and Edith, of course, has always been a strong educator in our community.
Very much so. First, very proud of my wife, and I try not to talk about my family because it gets me.
But I asked you. Please.
Yeah, Edith is she didn't start out as a teacher, but she loves education. And it really is a passion for her, and it really fits into how her family taught her and how her mother and father always opened up their homes to young people that right down from North Carolina Central University. So when we go out, Edith runs into students that she's had a chance to touch and to work with. And so education is big for her. Our daughter, Eva, Eva's, I don't know, she might not want me to tell her age, but Eva is a teacher in Wake County. She teaches at Liggins Middle School.
Wonderful.
And she's also a soccer coach, and she's also a soccer coach at Southeastern High School in Raleigh. And so very proud of Eva. And Chaz, being my youngest, Chaz is the only boy in our family with the last name Penny. I'm one of 7, the youngest of 7, and he's the only one with the last name. So Chaz is, I'll tell you, he's 27, and Chaz is a minister.
Wonderful.
And he is serving as a youth pastor at Orange Grove Missionary Baptist Church in Durham. And recently married, and the young lady that he married had a set of twins, and so immediately Edith and I became grandparents.
Well, nobody better, I mean, with your love of children.
And so we were, we love our grandkids, we love our daughter-in-law, but that was something we looked at each other and said, do you think we're ever going to have any grandchildren? And then we get a set of twins, and they are just turned 10 years old. But very proud of our children. And I said in the article that our city, our community helped raise our children. And I couldn't say it in the article because I'm limited on words. But Eva, when Eva went to college, she majored in athletic training. She had never thought about that until she was at Rocky Mount Senior High. And Bernie Capps met her about her junior year in high school. And so she started being a manager for the football team. And after some time during her junior year, Bernie Capps told me, he said, I really love your daughter. I just hate that it was late in her high school career when I met her, but she's doing a really great job. And then when Eva went to North Carolina Central, that's what she did. She was an athletic trainer for the football team. And so she majored in it. She's not a certified trainer, but she'd worked with Kenny Smith's basketball camp for 11 years in Chapel Hill, and so she loves what she does. And so we're very proud of our children.
Absolutely. And my kids did the same thing, grew up through our school system here. And this is a community, the new owners of Almonds, I want to say, have said of all the places they've lived, it's easy to live here.
Oh, yeah.
People are kind and supportive. They care about each other's children. You don't get in this traffic where it takes 45 minutes to get from one side of town to the other. But if you want that traffic, you can head to Raleigh briefly, but leave your money here.
I mentioned Bernie, but I also have to mention folks like Mike and Pam Gainey having an
wonderful.
impact on Eva's life, and folks at the Y, and then
Boys and Girls
Boys
Club.
and Girls Club. Chaz got. He just went with a friend to the Boys and Girls Club, and he just got taken with the Boys and Girls Club, and eventually was hired by the Boys and Girls Club as a unit director over in Princeville. Ron Green mentors him, and Teresa Shaw had an impact on Chaz's life. So I think it's important to thank the community for how they did impact our children's lives, our church family. They've just been so important.
Wonderful.
And I'm sure you gave back fully as much, if not more, than your kids were given for other people's children. So thank you.
Thank you.
For that. Let's talk about challenges. You were the flood, 1999, Hurricane Floyd. I mean, we all remember that. And I think yesterday you went through a litany of, I think we started with a blizzard in 93, a drought, a flood in 99, the recession. You came in right during the recession. So how do you, I mean, we finally are on the other side of all those things, don't you think?
Yeah, we are. The flood of 99, I tell people I got an experience, and I hope I never have to go through it again, because it took about 5 years out of my life and city's life trying to put our city back together. And I think we did a good job of trying to put people's lives back together. And I will tell you, as a manager, my first storm was Hurricane Irene. And it brought back memories, but it wasn't as bad as Hurricane Floyd. It was more a wind event. And so we had down trees. We had people out of power for almost a week. And then Hurricane Matthew this past October. Now that brought back flashbacks from Hurricane Floyd because the water was rising. And so those are challenges. But you know, we recovered from those things. Unfortunately, we had bought out so many people in 99 that we didn't have as many people that were flooded this time around. Other challenges, the recession of 2007, 2008, that took a lot out of our city. And I think we are rebounding. We're seeing the economy come back. We do need more jobs in our community, but those are challenges. But I see those things starting to turn around for our community. I always say that Highway 64, I consider it a blessing, but it's a blessing and a curse, because a lot of people think that the mall caused downtown to decline. I think it was more Highway 64, because before that, all the traffic came through town. and so then you take traffic around the downtown and it takes business away. Then 540, when 540 was created, that created another challenge for us. And this is where I want to go with this. 540 created such a short commute to get into Raleigh, that we then had people that decided that I can work in Rocky Mount and I don't have to live there. And that's a challenge for our community. So in our community, what we have to do is we have to build our community and create reasons for people to come here. But not only do we want them to come and visit, we want them to come and stay and to live. But that means that we've got to create amenities in our city that people can get here and not have to go to Raleigh.
Absolutely.
We're never going to be Raleigh, but we have to have amenities in our community. Make people want to live here.
And things like the community sports center that's being built, the sports teams come here, of course, and the Imperial Center and the Children's Park, and the mill. Gosh, soon they'll be at the end of May, 4 restaurants in Rocky Mount Mills. So we're getting there.
But we're getting there. What we're trying to do is create life after 5 o'clock. Because when people get off from work, they want some place to go, they hang out. We want them to hang out in downtown. We want to, and I'll just give you my piece. You grow a city from the inside out. You don't start out on the outside and move to the center. Everything will just permeate from the center. And that's why focusing on downtown is so important. The downtown community facility, the event center, will help re-energize the center. And I believe 5 years from now, people are going to be saying what happened in Rocky Mount, because you're going to see new investment, you're going to see people living more in the downtown area, and it's just, I believe it's going to be an amazing thing that we see in our community. And I just give you this one little piece. We went to Charlotte for our city council retreat, and some people might say, why do they have to go to Charlotte? Every time we go to a community, we use it as a training, learning opportunity for our city council. And we had Mike Crum, who's the son of former football coach Dick Crum, and he's the chief financial officer for the Charlotte Convention and Visitors Bureau. And Mike came and met and with a marketing person that taught with us. And Mike made a statement which really hits home with me. Great places to visit are great places to live, work, play, and raise a family. That's what they do in Charlotte. That's what we need to be doing right here in Rocky Mount. That's what our city council's vision is creating this great place to visit, but also eventually we'll get those folks wanting to live in our community.
Sounds wonderful. We're going to take a break and we'll continue. Stay with us, please.
Okay.
We went, what, 2 minutes long?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So,
Well, we can go maybe 12 this time.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You good?
Yeah, once
Need some water in it?
I don't know the sound bites.
Well, no, we
I'm
run
so
it straight. We
long-winded.
don't pull things out, so
Okay.
that's good. Then you get in trouble when you start picking and choosing which one people say, because it might not be what they wanted. Okay?
All right. 3, 2.
We're back with Charles Penny. Thank you for staying with us, and I really enjoyed. Thank you for allowing us to come, because I think it's important. With when Fred Turnage was getting ready to retire, he shared some thoughts with us, and you see things and know things and experience things, and you've got our back. I mean, you're here daily fielding phone calls, helping people, the good, the bad, and everything in between. So thank you for all your years of service with looking out for all of us in ways that we'll never know. But you were right there doing it.
I've loved what I've done. I've enjoyed the experience. It's been great for me. Again, a career goal, but it's just time to.
But how nice to end on an upward trend, because one of the things you were sharing at Rotary yesterday was the fact that the fund balances, the AA+ bond rating. I mean,
Right.
we are really in good shape as a city government, aren't we?
Rocky Mount's always been been financially sound, and so. But what I shared when I became manager, we were still coming out of the recession, and we had also just implemented a pay plan. So what we had to do in the general fund, our fund balance had dipped a little bit below what our target number is, but we spent time building that fund balance back up in the general fund. But across all our fund balances, we've even increased our target number in each one of them, and so they've grown, and that's important, because when we are trying to, if we need to borrow money, and it's not necessarily $40 million, but on an annual basis, we're replacing rolling stock, and we'll finance those. But it's important that we keep a good financial picture, and that we're a well-managed city. And Rocky Mount's always had a reputation for being a well-managed city. But then last year, when council decided that we were going to move forward with the event center to get it financed and all, when we started doing that, we needed to go to New York, get rated. And we were, even our financial advisor said, maybe get a A plus or something like that. So we went up, we put our best foot forward, and when they came back and Fitch said double A plus, they said double A plus for the project and double A plus for the city overall, and we were like, whew.
Great.
And then Moody said double A2 overall, double A3 for the project.
So that keeps our interest rates down.
And that
right?
keeps our interest rates down. And eventually, AAA is where you really want to be. And a lot of folks would probably say Rocky Mount could never be a AAA city. And I beg to differ. Rocky Mount can be a AAA city. The things that keep us from being a AAA city right now are things that we can't control. The financial, the job market, our unemployment rate. So we got to get that down, and to create more jobs and to get the income level, get the median income level up. That will get us in a position where we can create a situation where if we need to be rated again, that I believe we eventually can be a AAA city. And so that's for the next manager to shoot for. But I can tell you right now, I know for myself, for the mayor, and the members of the city council, they're awfully proud, and I'm awfully proud of the fact that Rocky Mount was a double A plus.
And you feel like we will never probably, and we don't say never, but the chance of getting like home office for RBC like we had Centura and Hardee's and whatnot, those aren't necessarily what we're looking at so much as mid-level companies, or you think we might get some big ones?
I don't know. I think it's hard. I think it's hard. I would never say never, because it just depends on what people are looking for. I think folks would probably say they never thought we would land CSX.
Tell us what that's done so far.
I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Because as I sat there and I watched the governor announce that it was going to Johnson County, and I looked around and I think Norris had just gone. I said, did we compete for that? And no. And so when it started to have trouble, we weren't rooting for them to have trouble, but
we were going to be ready.
We were ready if it did fall through. And so to make that announcement has been amazing. I tell you, I had 6 managers from other communities once that announcement was made in July calling and celebrating, congratulating us for landing CSX. And the thing about it, it has made the Carolina Gateway Partnership, they were already active, but it was multiplied by the fact that that intermodal hub was going to be located here in Rocky Mount. And so we are constantly answering questions for the Gateway Partnership on infrastructure, giving rates for water and electricity and natural gas. So I believe it's going to be so impactful for our community. And so I'm just anxious to see what the next 36 months is going to hold for our community. We had a consultant. The Gateway Partnership did a thing with Regional
L Council of Government?
No, it wasn't Regional L Council of Government. It was economic developers from the region.
Okay.
And they were talking, and they had a session now in November at the Booker T Theater. And they were talking about what was going on. But there was also a consultant there from California. And the lady asked me, she said, is your community ready for what's getting ready to happen to it? And I looked at her, she said, I'm serious. She said, with this intermodal hub, things are getting ready to blossom in your community. People will be moving to your community.
Wonderful.
And I'm like, I hope they're ready. She said, because that's what's getting ready to happen. The guy from the ports in Norfolk said he's been around a while, and to think about, but this is one of the biggest things he's ever seen come to a community. And he kept saying, this is big.
And the ripple effect too. And of course,
Yes.
we're looking at the Douglas block, which has really done well with Prime Smokehouse,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
a physician, Dr. Romney, down there. And we're looking at the Mills. I was recently at a presentation by Evan Covington Chavez, and that's exceeded their expectations for the number of people wanting the mill houses,
Well,
even restaurants.
We need to grow our population.
Uh-huh.
And population is important because they're revenues that are shared based on per capita. And in 2010, we saw 3% growth, and we have a little bit of time between now and the next census. And growing our population back is important because we've lost population because jobs haven't been here. But when we're hearing that housing is getting a little tight, those are good signs because the census counts rooftops. And so that is real important because those shared revenues are sometimes, are based on per capita. So that population growth is important.
And you made an announcement about the electric rate.
Yes.
Share that. Everybody will love that.
Yeah, and we did it yesterday afternoon with the committee of the whole, with the council. We've had a 4.4% wholesale rate reduction, and so in July, effective July 1, we'll be implementing electric rate decrease. Residential rate decrease will be about, I think, 2.5% to 3%. There's an opportunity for residential actually to have a larger rate decrease if they're not participating in load management. For people that are already participating in load management, switches on the hot water heaters and all, they could actually experience a 9% decrease. For folks that are not participating at all, if they were to come in and put load management on the hot water heaters, on the HVAC, on the heat strips, they could actually have as much as a 17% decrease in their rates. Now, and that's on top of our 14% decrease that we've already had. And so it's an exciting time. And the good thing is, and that's just residential, for industrial customers, their rate decreases, I think about a 15% rate decrease. And so what that does, that helps make us competitive for industries that we're trying to recruit to come into our community. But the really good thing is that this rate decrease, we should be able to maintain that rate for the next 10 to 12 years.
Super.
Yeah.
That's a good note to close on, don't you think?
I think so.
I would like to say thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Jean.
much, Charles, for all you've done for us. And glad you're going to stick around for a while anyway, right?
Yeah, that is important. I'm retiring, but my wife is not.
Oh, okay.
And so we don't both need to retire at the same time. So we're going to be in Rocky Mount.
Well, and you'll get to see all the fruits of your labor. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. See you next week.
Around Town is brought to you by Eastern North Carolina Medical Group. Good health is music to our ears. With office locations at 1041 Noel Lane, Suite 105 in Rocky Mount, 10589 East NC Highway 97 in Joiners Crossing Shopping Center in Rocky Mount, 155 Nashville Commons Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center Plaza in Nashville, North Carolina, 1812 Glendale Avenue, Suite B in Wilson, North Carolina, 903 North Arundel Drive in Zebulon, North Carolina, as well as the ENCMG Lewisburg Oncology Clinic at 216 North Beckett Boulevard, Suite 5 in Lewisburg, North Carolina. Log on to encmg.com today to locate the office nearest you.